Hey, what's up, Jack?
Yeah, not much, man, not much.
What is your show exactly?
So yeah, this show is called Into Deep, and pretty much talk with like street artists,
What'd you say?
musicians.
Date rape? I
in
didn't hear what you said. Did you say your show was date rape?
Into Deep.
In too deep. Oh,
That's
okay.
it, man. That's it. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
from Australia?
That's it. Yeah, I saw you. I saw you at the Corner Hotel in Melbourne a number of years ago, and there was
Okay.
quite a big brawl there that broke out.
Yeah, I always get into brawls in Australia. Australia is loves to start shit with me.
Oh, really? Yeah, I heard there was a
I
Perth.
mean, there's always one asshole that wants to get a beating, so
Yep.
just is what it is.
Yeah.
One of
Okay.
them things.
Yeah. I'm super happy that I got you for episode 69, man. The sexorcist himself.
69? Well,
That's
I don't
it.
get what
Episode
is
69.
this is what it is, episode 69? Oh,
That's
okay.
it. Yeah.
Nice.
Man, thank you so much. First of all, I just want to say I've been listening to your music since early 2000s. You really are one of the most unique rappers in the hip hop world, as far as I'm concerned. You've carved out your own kind of genre, really, of death rap. And one thing that I will say is your beats have just been second to none throughout the years. Just a big fan, a big fan.
I appreciate it. Yeah,
Not,
I take beat making real serious.
yeah, yeah. Which came first for you, the rapping or the beats?
Um, well, the rapping first because I didn't know how to make beats. You know what I'm saying? As a little kid,
Yeah,
that's something that you learn as you develop. But the rapping you see from watching TV or whatever and shit, and so you'll start rapping songs from Slick Rick or Lottie Dottie was like the first rap I knew. So,
yeah,
like learning that at like 8 or 9, you know what I'm saying? And then eventually you start making loop tapes, so which is before you get equipment, you'll get, you'll find vinyl or whatever, and you'll loop it on the cassette because you didn't have equipment. You know what
right,
I'm saying? So you would find shit that you want to loop and you play it, you play and then you hit pause and then you can create loops. You can get an idea of what it would sound like when hooked up. You know what I mean? So, and then eventually, started going to people that had their own studios and would engineer the session. So come there with the records and tell them, oh, I want you to do, you know what I'm saying? Loop this, do this. And
yeah,
then graduated to buying my own equipment. Because at that time, equipment, is $1,500, $2,000. So, a young kid doesn't really have that money anyway. So,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So it's easier to buy a record for $1 or find a record in the garbage or whatever than, be able to get the piece of equipment. So eventually I ended up getting, the piece of equipment that allowed me to start doing beats. But, to be a rapper, it doesn't cost anything. You know what I'm saying? You don't need equipment. So you just have to basically rap along to the videos.
right, right.
So, yeah, definitely rapping first and then producing because, never even thought of the concept of using someone else's beats. You know what I'm saying? It was always about let's figure out how to make beats that fit what I want to rap on. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? So
yeah,
because I wouldn't want to be at the mercy of someone else because then it's hey, can you give me a beat? How are you ever going to know if they're going to give you the beat that you want? I mean, you have to rely on their vision. Their vision, so then they got to give you like 30 beats, right? And most people aren't going to give you 30. So somebody gives you 2 or 3 beats, you're kind of stuck with that. Like whatever they gave you, you gotta, I'll make it work. That's
yeah,
not the same as producing yourself. Me, I'll make a fucking 1,000 beats for myself to get the vision I want. You understand what I'm saying? I'll
yeah,
try every fucking idea out. A rapper that doesn't make his own production can't do that. He's at the mercy of other people.
yeah. Makes
So,
sense. Your beats are like so unique. I was wondering where, like, how do you have what kind of music do you like listen to source these just unique
I
samples
mean,
that you.
you got to listen to everything. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Sampling, there's no limit to sampling. You understand? Sampling is anything. Could be any genre. any record, you hear shit, and if it, you know, that's why the beauty of production is nobody's gonna know what I resonate with. Sure, they could send me a couple of beats. I'd love to work with a Premier or somebody like that, or a Havoc. They make shit I like. I'm sure they would make something I could rap on. But could they produce a whole Necro album? You know what I'm saying? Like, they would have to fucking literally, you know, give me enough fucking options for me to be able to say, oh, okay, here's 10, 15 beats I really like. And, you know, so that's the beauty of producing. You know what I'm saying? You decide what the vision is going to be. That's why I was able to create a Necro vision that's original. The whole point of hip hop is be original. You know what I mean? You could be influenced by a bunch of people, but don't be like other people. You can be influenced and then become your own original shit. Everyone's influenced by rappers. The question is, are you copying motherfuckers, or are you? So my old shit was always to be original. I never wanted to copy anybody. Like, I'm influenced by Kool G Rap, but I never copied Kool G Rap. He inspires me to be great at what I can do, but I want to be able to do what I can do. If you look at Necro, Necro is more brutal than G Rap. G Rap is definitely extremely brutal, but you know, he'll have limits to it. You know what I mean? Where it's like mainly street gangster. You know what I'm saying? And so I was able to say, I'm going to take shit like that, but I'm going to take it further. Rap super, super ultra violent murder shit. Because I didn't hear anybody doing it really lyrically, like lyrical murder. You heard people doing it, but it was never super lyrical. You know what I mean? And it wasn't really on boom bap beats. It was like, you know, there's something about boom bap beats. They can be total evil, but are they boom bap? Because then you'll hear like horrorcore beats and they're not really boom bap. They're kind of like, I don't know, they're corny sounding. They don't really have fresh drum kits. You know, like, to me, a fresh drum kit is important, because any band always had a great drummer. I mean, for the most part, if you had a band on any record, there's a drummer. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's playing drums. So why would your hip hop beats not have a great drummer? So a lot of people will use, like, you know, like computerized drums, so like shit like that. And I feel that already kills the sound. But in their mind, they're just looking at the beat as a metronome. You know, like, I'm going to take an evil sample from a horror movie and put a little metronome beat to it, and then I'm going to rap my little horror. That's not what Necro does. When I make shit, it's going to be boom bap, meaning it's going to be that flavor of, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be more artistic. You understand? The sample, it could be brutal and dark, but it's going to be more artistic. You know what I'm saying? Like it might even sound like it just came off a jazz record. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's hard to explain, you know, but in the end of the day, you know, any person, they have their own vision. You know, my vision is I make what I like, and, you know, and I'm a culmination of, you know, metal, heavy metal, hip hop, the streets, horror movies, a whole view of everything I come from. So, you know, same way that somebody, you know, when some of these rappers from different cities, they rap kind of what their city influenced them to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not going to diss it. Some of it is good. Some of it is atrocious, because some of these dudes' cities are whack. You know what I mean? Like, they don't come from a prominent city. So, you know, in my opinion, I'm not going to mention the city because then it would be dissing it, but there are certain cities where the shit isn't that dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
don't have the hip
it's a
hop heart.
but it's a known thing. New York City shit is dope. So, you know, that's like kind of a known thing. So, you know, me coming from Brooklyn, New York, you're going to expect the hip hop it has to hold up to a certain level because of the reputation of, you know, New York City and Brooklyn. It has to obviously be very original, very hardcore, very unique. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone from New York always was different. Jay-Z doesn't sound like Biggie. Biggie doesn't sound like Nas. You know what I mean? Like, none of them sound alike at all. If you really think about it, they're totally different.
Yeah. I think the Necro sound is particularly unique. Like, how was when you were kind of coming up, was your sound accepted by the kind of the hip hop world, or were you really kind of just grinding your own way?
No, I was never really accepted. You know, I got accepted by a fan base, by people, by fans. Industry never really accepted me. They always fronted on me, you know, acting like my shit's too evil, too crazy, or they didn't believe I was real. there's a big thing in New York City. You could even be a non-black person, you know, just anyone in this industry, whether it's black, you could be a white guy in the industry. Their mentality of a necro is, I'm not official, I'm not real, because I'm white, because my skin color is white.
Right.
It don't matter if they saw me punch someone dead in the fucking face in the street and lay somebody out cold, because many have seen me do that. That doesn't matter to them. There's something, a stigma about the way the media portrayed anybody white is trying to rip off the culture. So I could tell them, hey, I'm from the projects. I rolled up wearing polo, Hilfiger, designs in my head, weapons on me, goons with me, posse of goons. They're still, no matter what, have this fucking prejudice, racism against somebody white as not being real. And it could be a white guy being prejudiced in the industry against me because he only believes black guys can be real. And the funny thing is, I grew up in the projects with black guys. So, you know, was every black kid real? I used to beat the shit out of many black kids. You know what I'm saying? The same way I would beat the shit out of a white kid. You know, and I've gotten beaten the shit out of myself. So color doesn't mean you're fucking tough. I don't give a fuck what skin color you're from or whatever. You're not realer than me. Your family members ain't realer than me. My father was a killer when he came to New York City from the Israeli army. He already killed somebody. So is your father realer than my father? No. Uncle Howie was a straight junkie in the streets going to jail 1,000 times. Is your family member realer than Howie? They're both derelicts if they were junkies. You know what I'm saying? So, but something about New York City and the hip hop community, very racist against white people that try to be rappers. You could be a white A&R, you could be a white producer, right? That would be like accepted. But when you were a white rapper, notice how many white rappers do you know that get highly respected in the mainstream from New York City? You can't think of it. It's crazy. There'll be a million black guys. You can name off black rapper after black rapper. But when it comes to white, the only real white dudes who is the most rugged white kid from Brooklyn?
I wouldn't
Me.
know. Yeah.
Me.
You.
I mean, name another rapper that's white that you know that raps super hardcore from Brooklyn. That's a white boy.
Yeah,
Either
I
me or my brother.
Probably Ill Bill. That would be it.
Right. Isn't that crazy? And here's the crazy shit. We're super overlooked. We're not overlooked by our fan base. The fan base that if you know us, you love us. I'm not talking about the 90 countries that love us, from Chile to France to Paris to Spain to Italy to UK. You know what I'm saying? To LA. I'm talking about New York City. Like, they'll know who I am and they'll act like they don't fucking have any respect or love for me. But if I'm in person, the attitude is different. It's like, oh, what up, Necro? Well, respect. Because they don't want to get punched in their face. I have an aura, because I know who I'm dealing with. I know I'm dealing with disrespectful type people. I know like how people are, and people are fake in your face. So I'm not going to be around these people all nice. Hi, how are you? Now I'm rolling in on some thug shit. So you're already going to feel that energy. If I don't like your energy, you're going to fucking know it. You know what I'm saying? I might even call you out to your face. So these people, when you're in their face, nah, they're not telling you, oh, you're a white boy, you can't be accepted, because I would fucking leave these people in a pool of blood. It's all behind the scenes shit. It's all shady, blackballing, behind the scenes shit. I dealt with it my whole entire career, constantly getting fucking overlooked, and it forced me to build my own shit. So when I realized that I had fans, and a lot of the fans were white boys, this is why Australia loves me. If you look at Australia as a country, is Australia a white country or a black country?
Originally a black country, but these days probably a white country for sure.
When I've always thought of Australia, I know that. Okay, so who are the blacks in Australia? Aboriginals?
Aboriginals, yeah.
Okay, they're considered black. Are they black skin, or is it like different native?
No, they're dark skin.
Okay, so I've had some fans that were Aboriginal, right? But majority of the people I see that show me love in Australia have been white-skinned people. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning of my fan base. And I noticed in Australia that I've never heard racism from people. Oh, Necro, he's white. You understand what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
the bullshit that you'll hear from people in New York City. That shit, it doesn't exist when it comes to my fan base in Australia. I never heard it from my Paris fans. Oh, he's white. Why is that? Is it because they're fucking all white also? So I ended up realizing that without me trying, naturally, just being a white person, 85% of my fan base is white. And then about 15% is Latino, especially in Los Angeles and Mexico. I got a lot of fans. And then my fan base, 5% white, black people. Not because I wanted it to be. I never decided one day, okay, this is going to be my demographic. Demographic is who is the fans decide if they're going to like you. They're the ones that hear you what you are. See, so now if you ask me, well, why don't more blacks fuck with you, Necro? You know why? Because the media brainwashed blacks from the beginning of time that you're not real if your skin color is white. You're a fraud and you're perpetrating the culture. It's gotten to the point now they come up with words now that we're appropriating the culture. So if we like hip hop culture, we're fucked up for that. We're somehow stealing it and using it to our benefit to make a living from it. And that makes us scumbag motherfuckers. Even if we've never been racist in our whole life and you love hip hop with your fucking heart and you put your heart into hip hop and you love it, somebody, okay, is going to fucking say, now you're appropriating that shit. A lot of these people on Clubhouse recently, and it's funny because I'm already considered a legend at this point, but you'll get people that don't know who I am, right? And they just might be 25, 26, and they discover Necro, right? Somehow, maybe in Clubhouse or whatever, and so racist, man. Like immediately just coming at me with racism, like, oh, this guy thinks he's a rapper. Like, there's people that will come at me like he thinks he's a rapper. And these are people that never did nothing for hip hop, except they might have black skin on their hand. So this is a fucked up mentality in hip hop that I've always dealt with, where people think because of a skin color defines your contribution to the culture of hip hop. Your culture of hip hop is based on merit and skill and what you contribute and what you sacrifice. So I would ask any person of any color, what did you fucking sacrifice for the hip hop culture? Well, I can tell you I sacrificed my fucking whole life. All I've done is hip hop. Make beats, release them, show love to fans that love them, inspire. I dropped fucking mad albums that were bangers. That's my contribution. But you'll get somebody who's never done anything I've done. They haven't released anything incredible. They don't do anything but they feel the culture is theirs because of skin color. That to me is a problem because remember, I'm a white kid and I grew up in the projects as a little kid. So I'm in the fucking heart of Brooklyn, New York, in the hood, being influenced from hip hop. Hip hop's everywhere. I'm being influenced by it. How the fuck can you tell me I'm not hip hop because of my fucking skin color?
Yeah,
I'm gonna take that as you being racist to me, right? You're being a racist.
Absolutely.
You're being prejudiced against me. So there's this new thing also. Oh, we can't be racist. Nobody can be racist. So you can shit on me and be racist against me and tell me I'm not good enough because I have pale skin, but you're not a racist though. So you're allowed to just shit on me. And here's the fucked up thing. You would think that somebody who gets shit on, they would have the mentality, well, then I want to shit back on you. But here's the thing. I have nothing in me to want to shit on somebody because of their color. There's nothing in me. That's why I'm a dope person. That's why people do love me. People that do understand real hip hop from all cultures. If you look at my Spotify, it's 90 different countries love me. How is it 90 countries love Necro, Ron Braunstein, Jew, from Brooklyn, New York, but people from New York City themselves, like a lot of the industry, they hate my guts. They've always hated me. Isn't that fucking weird? How
Yeah.
those specific motherfuckers don't want to show any love to fucking white kids that rhyme, but 90 other countries fuck with me.
Do you think that being
you want to know why? You want to know why
Yeah.
it's like that, bro? It's because people around the other world aren't as racist. Like the racism is crazy in New York City. Where, like I said, in Australia, I understand that they have a lot of beefs between non-Aboriginal and Aboriginal, but from a hip hop perspective, I've never had that brought to my attention. You know what I mean? Where it was like it was always just, and I've had Aboriginal fans that are, you know, the dark skin that will tell me they love me. And it just, there's never was that, oh, you're a white bullshit coming from anybody in Australia. Australia is always just, we fuck with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was arrested. I was in jail. And half the jail was black, Aboriginal, and white kids. And the whole jail loved me. Everyone locked up was like, Necro's here. Oh, shit. It was crazy. I was bugging out. I was like, what the fuck are you doing here? I said, well, I'm on tour. And I gave someone a beating. And they were like, he's real. He gives people beatings, you know what I mean? Because obviously I'm real if I'm locked up for giving someone a beating. Like people talk about being real, right? But they don't beat anybody up. So, well, where's the proof that you're like the lyrics? Well, obviously if I'm locked up with you because I fucking got violent, it's obviously proof to, and I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just saying it's an obvious thing to these criminals. Oh, well, Necro's the real deal, right? I mean, and not only that, just the fact that I'm in Australia, I'm an American in Australian jail. How fucked up must I be to be in an Australian jail? Like, I mean, that just shows, it shows a couple of things about me. It shows that I'm extremely hood. But I got to be honest with you. It wasn't like I ever wanted any beef. It was more like, if I'm in your city and you make me feel threatened, I react. Because I have fear in me, and my fear will make me fuck you up. Yeah. So if you put fear in me, when I say fear, not fear like, oh, I'm scared of you. If I feel you're threatening me, I'm going to fuck you up. I don't care at this point if I get locked up. I don't give a fuck. You know why? Because in my mind, you know that saying, better to be carried, judged by jury than carried by aid or whatever. I would rather be in court and in jail than get killed by you. Because if I'm stupid, you could shoot me. You could stab me. If I don't take you serious when you approach me and I assume that you're weak, I could end up like Dimebag Darrell from Pantera. I could end up like John Lennon. John Lennon got killed in front of his fucking apartment by a fan who was angry at him for saying that the Beatles were bigger than Jesus. And this guy killed him for that. So I take it serious when somebody comes at me. So if I'm in the middle of Australia and somebody's coming at me a certain way, I don't, it's not like I'm walking around with fucking 8 security. You know what I'm saying? So I got to take that seriously now because I don't know who you are. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's going to make me do something that's potentially going to put you in the hospital and have me get arrested right now. But at least I'm alive right now at 44.
For sure.
Because maybe if I was a bitch, maybe I'd be dead right now. Knock on wood, because somebody fucking jukes me. You know what I'm saying? Or who knows what? Because obviously some of these people are trying some shit. You know what I'm saying? If they're coming at me aggressively, they have animosity. So that's my logic. It's not about being tough and all that. You know what I mean? For me to be in a jail cell in Australia, it's really survival. I bet most of the people that were in the jail cell, they're there for survival. Either selling drugs to survive. Some of them might be junkies. You know, they're trying to survive their addiction. I mean, we're all really there. Nobody's really there. I mean, I would think it would be pretty stupid if you're there because you were trying to be a tough guy. For the most part, there's got to be a fucking reason behind each person locked up. Some people have fucked up lives. You know what I mean? Their parents were fucked up. So, you know what I mean? Me, I know that I'm vulnerable. And so if I'm going to be vulnerable in your city without a big crew, I have to be extra fucking brutal against anyone that's coming at me. You know, that's why it's not a smart thing for you to come at me, because I'm not going to be a fucking bitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do what I got to do to protect myself and represent. So, anyway, long story short, in New York City, it's sad, honestly, because now listen, I'm not one of those soft white kids that's going to ass kiss people. Remember, I'm growing up in the projects. Black kids are trying to rob me. The first day I moved to the projects, like 15 black kids surrounded me and my brother and ripped our comics up. So we weren't the type that were entering the hip hop space on some ass kissy shit. We were those white kids where when we came around, other black kids felt the energy. Like, oh, okay, these dudes they ain't no bitches. So a lot of times people don't like that energy. That makes them not want to fuck with you. But if you're one of those white kids that say, "Oh, hey, what's up?" You know, you know what I'm saying? That was never us. We don't kiss nobody's ass. So I'm sure that didn't help the situation. Because in my mind, here's how I'm thinking. I'm not thinking I'm white. You don't wake up and, hey, I'm white. You're just rapping. You love the culture. You love rhyming. You listen to other rappers. All your idols are black. You understand? So you don't think in your head, I'm white, until somebody tells you you're white. Like somebody goes out of their way. Oh, look at the white boy trying to rap. Yeah, another fucking dick bringing up my color. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you got to be about that? Why it ain't about the verses? Why it's not about the fucking lyricals? So you end up having this big fucking chip on your shoulder. Like, I know I'm about the hip hop shit. So don't come at me with that bullshit. I'm not trying to hear no color bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And so that energy is already going to turn off people who are trying to shit on you for your color. So they're not going to. So it probably was harder for me in the industry because of the fact that my attitude already was like, nah, fuck that. You understand? Because I already dealt with all the bullshit as a child in the projects. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with a lot of hate and all that, fighting a lot of black kids. It wasn't only black kids I fought white kids too. But that energy was like, yo, now I'm on some hip hop shit. Now I'm a thug. I'm 16, 17, 18. You can't play me. So if you don't show me utmost respect, like, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not putting up with nothing. Now, if I knew better, let's say I had a manager, somebody really smart, they could have maybe toned me down a little bit, you know what I mean? And people did try to tone me down, you know, like, yo, you got to chill, you're too wild, you know what I'm saying? But people tried, but, you know, I kept seeing people like Wu-Tang talk about, oh, we elbowed our way in, and like blacks always got away with being rugged, and like they could abuse people, and they got props for being rugged. You know, they would get the record deals for being rugged. They would get everything for being hard. I got penalized for being hardcore. All I did was get people tell me I'm difficult. You're too difficult to deal with. We don't want to deal with you. You create problems everywhere you go. My own brother would tell me, I can't bring you around nowhere because you're always starting beef with everybody. Yeah, no, and it wasn't starting beef with everybody. It's because people were naturally disrespectful. There would be like this fucking, like this attitude from people that they respected the black rappers more. And that would make me want to punch you right in your fucking face. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what? You know, imagine how you would feel if you're constantly getting fucking fronted on basically because of your skin color. Well, you know, if you were black rapping the same shit, oh, that shit's hot, yo. But when you're white, it's like, you're on some satanic shit. You're on this shit. You're on that shit. Always an excuse to try to downplay your shit and say like how it ain't official. Or, you know what I'm saying? And eventually, when so many people keep putting, and here's the crazy shit. We know that my shit is awesome because I got the fans and I ended up getting the fans. And I ended up getting the fans on a monumental, diehard level. So I knew this from the beginning that I was awesome. But I'm getting major fucking opposition from people trying to shit on me. My own brother, any chance he could put me down would put me down.
Really?
So that verse wasn't hot. That verse wasn't dope. Like, 1 out of 10, he might be like, oh, yeah, that was hot. You know what I mean? And so that almost made me iller. That forced me to have to be like, damn, man, the competition's like, I can't get no love. Like, you have to be fucking ill. As a white boy, you almost have to fucking be better than everybody black. Because if you're not, you'll get shitted on. They'll basically fucking say, nah, you're whack. You're a whack white boy. So white kids got it tougher, I think, in hip hop.
Yeah. Do you think that that kind of struggle to be accepted in the hip hop world, is that kind of what nurtured the, you know, the murderous, gory kind of aspect of your music? Is that like a combination of
Well, it
like,
made me, yeah. Well, you know, I was influenced by Ghetto Boys and Cool G Rap and NWA and death metal and all that. So that was already kind of like something I wanted to incorporate. But, you know, like the toughness, the brutalness of like the I'll kill you in the lyrics, that sentiment of, you know, the lyrics being murderous, you know, is dealing with being abused. Imagine a dog gets abused, a pit bull. Let's say it's a rugged dog, not a soft dog, right? Because a soft dog might get abused and just end up being weak. Let's say it's a pit bull. You keep abusing it. The pit bull's eventually going to bite your fucking face off.
yeah,
You're only going to abuse it for so fucking long. Right?
yeah, yeah,
You're going to fuck with it. You're going to fuck with it. You're going to get away with it for a little bit. It's going to start growing and getting bigger and more vicious. And at some point, it's going to bite your fucking face off. That's how it was for me growing up in Brooklyn. Non-stop badgering, bro. I mean, bro, it was, I'm sure people have went through this. It's why a lot of people are rugged. Ask a dude who's fucking hardcore in Australia, what made you hardcore? Why are you so tough? Why, you know what I mean? Why are you so fucking angry? He's going to tell you, well, no, my father was a crim. You know what I mean? Or something, you know, being around some of that shit, it fucks your head up. I got mad PTSD from the projects because I was different. There's certain people that weren't fighters. If you were not a fighter and you let people bully you, you didn't get the PTSD, you know, the post-traumatic syndrome from the projects. You grew, you understand? If you were somebody who banged it, because you have to have the pride. If you have the pride in you, like I'm proud, so I never could let somebody fuck me up. You know what I'm saying? If you have that pride, you're going to get the post-traumatic syndrome. If you're somebody not that proud, so you don't take it personal if somebody whips your ass, like they fucked with my manhood. You know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna grow up in the hood differently. Why do you think so many tough guys end up in prison? Because their pride. They're the dudes that when somebody played them in the hood, the pride made them go back and fucking do some crazy shit to them. And then a lot of times you get locked up for it. You know, bad things happen. Consequences happen, basically. Cause and effect. Every effect of something negative, there's a cause. Obviously, everything. Listen, I had a lot of positive. I was also a very smart kid. I always knew consequences. So if I did something, right, violent or whatever, I kind of think before I do it. I mean, I'll react. I have my snapping where I can snap on somebody, but I don't go too far. So, like most people that go too far, they're in jail right now, 25 to life. They went too far, right? If you're in jail right now, 25 to life, you went too far, obviously, right? In something you did. You did something and you went too far. You either sold too many drugs, killed too many people, shot too many people. You should have chilled. If you did it once or twice, maybe not 5 times. But you did it too many times. Okay, I know when to chill. I have that fucking thing in my brain that's like, okay, maybe not now. Don't do it right now. Don't do that. Let this person slide because I'm going to get the worst end of this. It's going to feel good to do what you do to that person right there, but I'm going to get the worst of it.
Yep.
Okay, so you have to think smart. You have to think smart. You have to say, okay, well, I'm not going to do that then. But then there's just times when you got to roll the dice. Like if your reputation is at stake. I have a reputation as Necro. If somebody tests my reputation, I'm going to roll the dice. And I'm going to take my chances with representing myself. Okay, it's not even about being proud. Anyone from the hood or from the street will tell you, yeah, that's what it is. It's your reputation, because nothing's gonna feel worse than feeling like a bitch. Now, not everybody feels like that. You understand what I'm saying? Only certain people will feel like a bitch if somebody plays them. You know what I mean? Okay, so there was a time, I'll give you an example. We're in the airport, and I got into beef with this like Arab guy. I don't remember what it was about, but it was, and he kept trying to beef with me in the airport, on the airport line.
Is he a fan?
And I was there with and I was there with 8 of my guys, and he was alone. So I don't know if he was being a punk, knowing he can't really fight me, or he was mentally sick in the head. But he was talking enough shit to get punched in his face. But we were on the line. So I turn around to Hyde. I'm like, yo, this dude's, Hyde's like, you can't punch him. We'll get you hit somebody in the airport, you're fucked. There's no more touring. I will not be able to tour anymore. Like, they'll stamp my passport as I assaulted somebody, and I'll be fucked from flying. So am I going to let this guy ruin my tour career? Think about all the fans, how they would be ruined. But here's what I'm saying. We come across situations where one person could be the fate of the rest of our fucking career. You know what I'm saying? And so...
Yeah, that's scary to think about.
It's a very thin line. You have to walk those lines. Look at so many rappers. A lot of rappers do, something, and then, like, the guy Bobby Schmurder, right? He was blowing up, and 7 years in prison. From blowing up to 7 years in prison. Like, it's like, okay, so my whole point was I've been very good at towing the line, obviously, because I'm here right now. I've had some very close calls, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was never to be tough. You know what I mean? It's just the PTSD, the post-traumatic stress of my mind, of my childhood. It'll force me to clash with somebody if somebody's being aggressive. You know what I'm saying? And so maybe when you get older, you calm down a little bit. You know what I mean? And so basically, I guess I was very intimidating in the early Necro days, to the point where, I felt it needed to be that way to get the respect. Because here's the thing. A lot of the black rappers were intimidating, but they were being celebrated for being intimidating. I was being called difficult. I was being called a wannabe. He's trying to be hard. What do you mean I'm trying to be hard? That almost fucked my head up a lot, because it's like, am I trying to be hard? Like, if you're disrespecting me, how am I trying to be hard? I'm reacting to you. I'm reacting to you disrespecting me, and you're flipping it on some like cultural media shit. You're trying to be a tough guy. And then I'm getting confused because a lot of the black rappers are all calling themselves Meyer Lansky, Luciano, Gotti. So all the black rappers want to be Italian and Jewish mobsters, but I'm the wannabe?
No shit.
So it was very confusing, and also turned me off in a way. It forced me to create my own thing. It always made me say that I got to do my own fucking thing, where I control it. My own shows, my own records. I own everything. I'm already producing everything, fund it. Then I know I control. If I'm going to make it, it's going to be based on me, not relying on some person who thinks he knows what I'm about or wants to judge me. Managers and label people. And I told you, it's not only black people. The white people that were in the industry, it's almost like if you're an industry person, whether you're white, Latino, or black, you thought a certain way. That was industry mentality. Industry mentality is anybody black is cool, anybody white is a wannabe. But now, if you're a street fan, a listener of the underground, and you know what I'm saying, you could be black, white, or Puerto Rican, and you just love the music. But a lot of those people, they don't have the power. All a fan most of the time had was the power to listen to you. Maybe he'll buy a fucking single, This was before streaming. You know what I mean? So all he really could do is go to Fat Beach and buy a single of yours. Or you know, let the radio, call up the radio station. Oh, that Necro freestyle was dope. So, you know, I started heavily getting embraced, you know, by Europe. And Europe, the thing about blacks and whites in Europe, did you ever notice you'll see a lot of black and white crews where you'll see like a black guy down with a white guy? Like it's less racist in UK and places like Europe. Like it's not like in New York City where it's separated. So when my music started getting pushed into Europe, it was nothing but love. You know what I'm saying? A lot more love, less color, worrying about the color. You know, that color shit, I guess, is a big American thing because of the history of blacks in the country, you know what I'm saying? And all that slavery and all that. So there's a lot of animosity amongst blacks in New York City, but less around the world where people of color and you know, definitely because a lot of these countries, right? If you think of Italy, you think of it's more white people, right, than black people. So, you know, their first inclination is not to look at Necro and judge me on white skin. Their first inclination is going to be, is he dope or not? You understand what I'm saying? That's kind of what I'm saying. Like Australia, I never felt I was only in New York City or the East Coast that I ever feel I'm being judged for having white skin. But because New York City is like, you know, it's the Mecca. It's not like you could, at the beginning, you can't just say, oh, well, you know, they're dissing you. Let's go around the world. Think about it. It took years for me to get into, you know, 20 years for me to be loved by 90 other different countries. We had to have Spotify come to life. We're streaming, you know, and then now, just in the last fucking couple of weeks, the last month, Spotify opened up to like another 80 new countries. Bolivia and this. Now Bolivians are going to hear Necro because they never maybe did. Or here's the thing. Every country has those certain people that love Slayer, NWA, and a horror movie. You're always going to have in every country. I don't care if it's Africa, wherever. There's always going to be those heads that somehow always love that. They might not have access. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe their country didn't have access. The second those kids have access, they're going to become Necro listeners. So anyone in Bolivia that just got Spotify now, he's going to start searching for that brutal shit. And then they're going to end up getting to Necro. So the beauty of technology is technology allowed it. That and here's the thing with me, you know, when you ask me a question, it's because I have so many years dealing with this bullshit on all different questions you could ask me. Every question gets answered. It could take an hour to answer because it's not that. If you ask somebody who's not a good interview, here's what they would say. They'd be like, "Yeah, it was tough." You know what I'm saying? That's all they would say. It's like, You're not really gonna feel the pain of what that means. Yeah, it was tough. I hear you. Everybody knows things were tough. What was it really like? You know, and that shit takes time. You know, and that's why if you know when I get asked certain questions, I can't give a fucking 3-word fucking response because I have way too much experience. I'm 20 plus years in hip hop, so like I've been around everybody. You know what I'm saying? I've been around everybody. I've been around every scenario possible. You know what I'm saying? From trying to get record deals to Fat Beach vinyl, you know what I'm saying? To digital, to CD deals with Selecta Hits, Koch, Land Speed, pretty much everything at this point. You know, and it's all led to where I am now. Full control, digital, and nothing is better than having full control. You know what I mean? And
yeah, well, that's what makes the vision come to life, right? I mean, that's why you've basically created your own genre. Your entire.
It's all about fans. It's all about fans. Here's the thing, man. This person might not like me. Yeah, I don't like that neck. Well, go fuck yourself. Don't watch it. Don't listen to it. And check this out. Fuck you. I don't care if you live or die. Next person. Yo, that Necro shit is fire, yo. Yo, much love to you, homie. No doubt. Respect. You see, the people that love you, give them love. Show them respect. People that don't love you, fuck them. Go fuck yourself. Fuck out of here. And a matter of fact, sometimes when you talk to them like that, fuck you, get the fuck out of here. They might get intrigued and then want to become a fan after. And then the fans that you did show love to will show you love, they love you for life. because you responded to them and you told them much respect. And a lot of these people, they don't even have people telling them respect in their life. You know, so for them to reach out to you as a rapper and you're responding back with much love, respect, that makes them feel good. They remember that. Yeah, Necro was cool. So I always make sure to respond to people, but I'll tell a disrespectful person to go fuck himself in a minute. I'm not trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to brainwash some jerk off. Because if you're a jerk off, I learned if a jerk off ain't going to support you anyway. The only way a jerk off will support you is if you do put him in his place. If you actually try to be nice to him, he'll keep trying to disrespect you. It's like in the street. If somebody starts with you, if you don't punch them right in the face, they're going to do it every fucking day. It's never going to fucking end. That's why they say in jail, when you go in jail, if somebody, you know, starts with you, like, you have to fuck them up. Because if you don't, everyone sees it, and now everyone wants to take advantage of you. So it doesn't matter if you feel like you don't want to do it, or, you know what I'm saying? Or if the guy's being nice. Hey, man, those are some nice headphones you got there, man. Like, he's being nice, and you're like, I can't tell. Is this guy trying? You have to punch this guy right in his fucking face immediately in front of everybody, because he's the dumb fuck, stupid enough to think he could walk up to you and talk about your headphones. Because really what he's trying to do is to see if he can get your headphones. He's trying to feel you out to see if you're a pussy or not. You know what I'm saying? And because that's what they do, you know? But walk up to the wrong guy. Yeah, those headphones are good. Oh, would you like to wear my headphones and hear them? Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, no, Dad, here's the headphones. Boom! Punch her in his fucking face. Now everybody knows now. Don't fucking play with me. I'm not here to play games with you. You know what I'm saying? And we'll take it there. And that was always my mentality in hip-hop. I mean, because of the fact that I saw the disrespect. The disrespect was crazy. I don't think you understand the level of disrespect, bro. Okay, Vanilla Ice was ultimately fucking hated at this point. 1990, 91, he was fucking hated. He was considered the biggest fraud ever. Anytime you came across someone black, the first thing out of their fucking mouth was calling me Vanilla Ice.
Right.
So now I want to crack your fucking face wide open right now. I want to fucking eat your skull. You know what I'm saying? Because you just disrespected me. You basically without even knowing if I rhyme good, you called me the wackest shit ever.
Yeah. And
so
despite that, you stayed in Brooklyn.
What kind of chip? Imagine the chip on your shoulder that you're gonna fucking have, knowing that people have the fucking nerve that they're gonna, before even hearing your shit, they're gonna try to call you some whack shit. Like, yo, I'll fucking kill you, B. Are you fucking crazy? Like, it's so disrespectful. You know? Now listen, some people wouldn't feel that way. There's other white kids that maybe they would just laugh and then rap. To me, I took that like, wow. Like, yo, that shit is fucking out of line. Because I'm thinking I'm a man. That's even in the projects as a little kid, I don't know, I had that thing, like, I'm a man. Like, you can't fucking disrespect me. I don't know where I got it from. Maybe I got it from my father. My father was very tough. My brother definitely took no shit. I'll give him props. In the projects, my brother banged out with everybody. Like, never got played. Like, you know, so I'll give Bill props for that. So, you know, I saw my father definitely taking shit from nobody. So, you know, listen, you get influenced by that. But it also has to be in you. If it's not in you, it could be in you to be soft. Something in me, I had that pride. It's kind of why I don't even talk to my own brother nowadays, because his disrespect. Yeah, because his disrespect to me is so disrespectful because of my pride. So, you know, if you're a proud person, and when, you know, it's crazy, when white people are proud, they call it white pride, like Nazi. I'm a Jew. So first of all, I can never be a Nazi. Me being proud of who I am is I'm a human being. It doesn't mean I'm better than anybody. I'm no better than nobody. We're a fucking human. We all bleed the same blood. We all bleed fucking blue or red blood or whatever. We all got hearts. We all fart. We all shit. We just got different skin colors, different cultures, different accents. We eat different foods, but we're all human beings. I always knew that as a little kid. As much as other people were pushing their racist shit, I just always knew this. It was something in logical mind. That's why a lot of my youngest friends were black kids until, you know, the world turns everybody against each other. But as a little kid in the PJs, my first friends were black kids. You know, I had Russian friends too. It was whoever was down to play, whoever wanted to have fun and play, do GI Joes, and you know what I'm saying? That's who you played with. It didn't matter he was black or white. Yo, the black kids didn't care. I remember because they were my boys. I would call them from their window, and it was they didn't come out the window. They didn't come out the window and go, look, Ronnie's white. It's always the parents. The parents were the ones that pushed this shit on the kids and all that. See, that's the thing. What happens is the parents go through all this bullshit, which I'm not saying the parents didn't go through legitimate things. So when the parents go through the racism in their life with jobs in the world, they end up bringing it home. The young, innocent kids, they don't know any of that bullshit yet. All they know is that's my friend. You click with who you click with. Certain people we bond because we both like G.I. Joe. Certain people bond because we both like playing football. You understand? So yeah. I never forgot that. But then when you start facing major racism, you understand it's going to make you bitter. Same way blacks felt the bitterness from the racism they felt, I felt bitterness as being a white guy having racism against me. It's sad, to be honest with you, because, you know, I think we all had a lot in common. You know what I mean? In the end of the day, a lot of us as kids, we all had fucking same shit in common. We loved the same shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy how like the racism of adults and shit ends up turning kids into racists. You know what I'm saying? Like it could all change if all the adults decide to teach the kids not to fucking be racist. Then it would set a whole generation of people. Just listen, just judge me off my individual behavior. If you don't like something I did, address that. If you think I can't rhyme good, then don't let it be because you're prejudiced because I'm a white boy. Let it be because you think you got better skills. If you got better skills, step with some skills. Okay, I guarantee you the court, the jury of kids that will decide will be a mixture of black and white kids. And there'll be some black kids that'll say, nah, Necro had that shit. His shit was better. Because in the end of the day, there's always been good people in every culture. You understand? As much as there's shit motherfuckers, scumbag motherfuckers in every culture, there's good people in every culture. It's humans. I think God, if you believe in God, made it in a certain way where he made it like this. He gives you a choice. You have the choice to decide to be bad or good. We're all created uniquely. But if you notice, right, every human has his choice. I could decide to kill you. I could decide to make a song with you. I could decide to hate you. I could decide to like you. Usually we make our own choices. I mean, you know what I mean? Like for the most part, some people will say, well, I didn't know the choices I made because I wasn't educated or whatever. But I'm saying ultimately, there's people that make the choice, even who weren't educated, to not go rob somebody. There's people, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you for the most part, I believe the majority of humans have the capacity to make a decision if it's going to be good or bad. And we decide what we're going to fucking do. And I think God, if we believe in God, you know, because I have different views. I'm spiritual or whatever, and part of me does believe in God. Part of me also maybe think maybe I'm atheist, you know, whatever. But I do respect the possibility that there could be I believe there's got to be some creator. At the same time, I'm also very into science. So I do believe in the Big Bang. But then again, how could I say I believe in the Big Bang? Did I see the Big Bang? Like I know science says there's the Big Bang. But how do we know right now as we sit here if there's really the Big Bang? You know what I mean? It's kind of been explained to us by a bunch of other motherfuckers that told us, yeah, scientifically it makes sense. So I'm confused. Totally. I'm kind of confused. I believe, hey, listen, they say the earth is flat and some people say it's round. I mean, I kind of believe it's round. I don't believe it's flat, but do I really know? Do we really know if it's flat or round? I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if I can prove it. I don't think Necro can prove to you whether it's round or flat. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it, I think, is kind of like, bro, We might be in a virtual reality simulation right now in fucking year 10,000, and we're just bugging out on some Back to the Future shit. Let's go back to 2021. I don't know. Could that be possible? That would be weird as fuck. If this is all the simulation right now, right? But look at the technology we have now. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We're on a little fucking phone, and you're in Australia, and we're doing Zoom. It's just like, you know, in the end of the day, I guess life is just about happiness, right? It's just about, are you happy? Really, are you happy? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm the most happiest when I'm making fucking beats and production. I fucking love it because I have full control, and I know I'm going to create something that people around the world are going to love. It might not be that specific beat I'm working on right now, but the next beat might be that one. But if I don't work on this beat right now, I won't get to the next beat. So I got to work on every fucking thing I fucking think could be a great Necro beat. And eventually I'm going to get those specific beats. And this is what I thought in the beginning. So I made a lot of beats. When I gave like Ill Bill his first album, I let him pick 50. So that's how he got the ones he picked. Mr. Hyde got to pick 50. When I make my own shit, obviously I have the cream of the crop of anything I make. So to get to pinnacle shit, you can't just make 3, because that might not be the best 3 you could have made. They could be good if all you make is 3, but you'll probably get a better album if you make 30. And you'll definitely get the best album if you make 300, because now you're going to pick fucking the best 10 out of 300. You know what I mean? I should obviously have the best fucking option. So, you know, like, yeah, making beats is one of the most stressful fucking things, because the easiest shit is just to go online and talk to bitches, send me your butt, your YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Watch TV, Netflix. That's the easiest shit to do. The hard shit is to really focus. I'm going to make a beat now. I'm going to focus on creating something from beginning to end. Okay. And then, but it's very rewarding. Okay. And,
dude, Poetry in the Streets, man. That's such a good, that was the first track I ever heard. And that is just second to none.
That. I got that from a Russian children's record.
Really?
Yep. A Russian children's record that I got from the projects, from one of the Russian families. Because I used to go to the kids that I was friends with and ask them, could I borrow?
No
I wasn't
shit.
borrowing. They would never get that shit back. Like, yo, could I borrow? You know, I had some dudes mad at me and wanted to fight me because he wanted his records back. And the records had such sick fucking samples that I refused to give it back to him. And I got into physical fist fight with this Russian kid from the projects because fucking I wouldn't give him the records back. I told him, I don't know where they are. But like they had crazy samples. I knew I'd never get the record because I didn't know how to speak Russian. So I couldn't find what the record is because it's written in Russian. He didn't want to use it for hip hop. He's like, my mother wants them back. I'm like, yeah, I don't know where they are.
Can't help you, man.
But I sampled that off a children's record, and that was me trying something melodic, and my brain saying, how beautiful will it be to rap pure murder, death over melody?
Yeah, that
because
contrast, man.
It's almost, yeah, because it's almost like the lyrics, you're hearing the contrast of the lyrics of it being brutal, but it's almost like classical melody, and it's like it's making it dramatic. Like you could have the evil beat, dun, dun, you know what I'm saying, and that's going to sound great, of course, but it appealed to more people because I remember when Gory Days dropped, people that normally wouldn't like my shit would bring that up. Poetry in the Streets, so I knew, I said, okay, that's what it is. They heard the beat was so melodic that it allowed them to get into the murder.
Yeah.
You know, they normally might have not liked hearing the death rap, but hearing it on that beat made the death rap palatable to them in a way. You know what I mean? And and that was interesting to me, you know, and so I've always been, you know, but what was I saying now? You brought up the Poetry in the Streets. I don't know. Okay, I don't remember what I was gonna say, but
that's cool, man. That contrast though, that exactly like you're saying, that juxtaposition between that really beautiful music, I think is really what has for me made you stand out amongst all the others, and so many other people have kind of followed suit after that. But you know, beautiful music for you to die to. Your latest track, Murder Obscene, like these beats, man. Like no one else is able to source these kind of samples like you. Yeah, you've got an amazing ear.
You know what what it is? It's anyone on the planet can get and use any sample. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Let's say we take a record from Herbie Hancock, random Herbie Hancock record. Give the record to Necro, give the Necro to Alchemist, give the record to Alchemist, give the record to Premier, give the record to Pete Rock, and give it to Large Professor, and give the record to Havoc. We'll all create different beats from the same exact record.
Yep.
Just somehow, we're each going to hear different fucking things. So it doesn't make a difference if Primo sampled this record from Al Green, because I still, as Necro, need to eventually hear that song, whichever song that might be, because that song is going to have something in it that Primo didn't sample, because he didn't hear the Necro vision. The same way I'm not going to hear his vision. So he's going to make something phenomenal from that record. That's Primo. It's going to be boom, boom, da, 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 boom. It's going to be fresh. You're going to hear it boom back and hard drums. And you're going to hear it and be like, wow, oh, how'd he do that? And he's going to chop it. Da, 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 boom, boom, da, 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 da. And that's going to do what he does. You know what I'm saying? And then Havoc's going to take, you know, maybe the darkest piano sound, and he's going to slow it down. Do, do, do. And he's going to do, that's Havoc style. And then somehow I'm going to find something that speaks to me, that when I hear it, it's going to be like, yeah, that needs to be hooked up. And that's the beauty. When you say, oh, I find things that other people can't find. No, it's not even that, man. It might have come across the path of all these producers. They just didn't hear the vision. It didn't speak to them. Because maybe they don't have plans to rap murder. Certain samples, if you don't rap murder on it, it ain't going to work. If you're not, and when I say rap murder, I mean, if you're not going to talk like extreme violence type shit, you know, or thug shit or sex shit, if it's not going to be, you know, those extreme kind of topics, it might not work. You know what I mean? So, you know, they might be looking for things that are different, you know? They might be thinking, well, okay, I want to make something Mos Def would like. And Mos Def ain't going to talk sex, murder, and thug life. He's going to, you know, he has his style. He's going to talk the Mos Def shit, which is, you know, it's kind of like hip-hop based and, I don't know, uplifting, kind of conscious. So they're going to look for some shit that feels that vibe. Like I would. If I knew I was going to make a beat for Mos Def, right? Well, then shit with xylophones is going to stand out to me. Ding, 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 ding. Do, 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 ding, ding, ding. And that might not sound like death rap shit to me. But if I know I'm making the beat for Mos Def, I'm going to hook that up now. So, you know, that's why I was able to, when I was producing these other guys, to make, you know, some other shit, like Sabac's album. The whole album kind of has upliftment feel. That's because I knew I was producing him at the time. You know what I mean? So anyway, you know, so here's the beauty, man. There's just so much shit that will never, ever get used or hooked up unless Necro hooks it up. That's just not tooting my own horn. That's just why it's a blessing for hip-hop to have Necro. And at the same time, just not to toot my own horn, there's the same equivalent of shit that Primo was going to hook up that just nobody will ever do what he's going to do. They did, obviously, right? There's a reason he did 12 crack commandments, right? I mean, that sample probably came across 100 other people, but he heard it, and he freaked it and flipped it. So okay, same thing like Head Split. Head Split, it's because that shit was meant to be Necro shit. That's why it's never been fucking freaked before. I'm the first person ever to rap over Time of the Season for Who's Your Daddy, because nobody saw that vision.
That's where I first heard that song. That's where I first heard that track.
and part of that song, which is crazy, is I wouldn't have rapped on that. That's the last song I did for Sex Assist. I had the whole album recorded. The last song was that, and I made that the first song because it was better than the whole album. That one song, which was my last song, was better than, I couldn't believe it. Okay? I was like, this is better than the whole album. It was so fire that it was better than the whole album. I was like, holy fuck. But it was just one of those tracks that anytime somebody heard it, they were like, what the fuck? I just destroyed it. And the crazy shit about that is when I was a kid, my uncle, Hanan, was into 60s rock. He would play do-do-do in the car. And it was his favorite song. And I always laughed because in the song, they go do-do-do, and it was like sexual, you know? And I'm a little kid hearing it. And my uncle he was a 60s head. You know what I'm saying? That was his shit, like the Mop Top and the Beatles and all those bands. That was his shit because there's so many 60s bands that never blew up, let's say, as big as the Beatles, but they all had hits, like the Animals, the Zombies, you know, this or that. So anyway, long story short, I always remembered that track and never thought to freak it. And it just randomly came to me, you know? And so that's like an example of something I did nobody's ever done. Another thing would be like, I Need Drugs. I Need Drugs is not even about picking a sample. I Need Drugs is just about me somehow hearing LL Cool J, I Need Love, and somehow I Need Drugs came to me because of my experiences. I was selling some drugs in the street, selling weed. I was bodyguard for a coke guy. My uncle was the biggest junkie in Brooklyn. Pretty much everyone knew him. I mean, he was a legendary crackhead because everybody knew him because he fucking did his crack shit around everyone. There would be times where people would be like in the projects, yo, we beat the shit out of this crackhead last night. It came into the park talking mad shit. And be like, who? Which crackhead? You know that crackhead Howie? And I'd be like, that's my uncle. You know what I mean? Like Howie was like in the mix of everybody. Then it got to the point where he started selling everybody weapons in the projects. You know, so Howie had mad phases. Anyway, my whole point is I Need Drugs was influenced by all that. If I didn't get that influence, I wouldn't have been able to write those lyrics. I wouldn't be able to have the ammunition to turn LL's words into drug junkie words. But I was literally so brainwashed and experienced with junkies from Uncle Howie and then me selling drugs that by the time I Need Love crossed my path for me to come up with that, I had all the experience to write those lyrics. And the reason that song did so well and still does over the years is because it resonates with every person that did drugs before. Any person that does drugs had heard that and was like, oh, I get it, man. You know, like, not even that they get it. They would hear the lyrics and go, you know, like just it all made sense to them. So
that video clip as well, man, that was like wild. I remember finding that. I don't even remember how I came across that video clip, but that was like, everyone was just like, check this,
well, I had
check
just
this
finished
out.
the song. Well, I had just finished the song and I played it for Howie. And Howie goes, yeah, this song's cool, but fuck that bullshit. Let me show you some real crack shit. Come with me to the crack hotel tonight. I'm going to be there with Mordecai. I was like, Mordecai? Who the fuck is Mordecai? I was like, what are you saying? Because Mordecai is the name of a religious Jew. I was like, are you saying you're meeting a religious Jew? He goes, this guy is a fucking Hasidim. He's meeting me at the crack hotel to smoke crack. I never in my life even knew that religious Jews with yarmulkes on their head smoke crack and go to hookers. He told me, yes, they do. He goes, it's hidden. It's a hidden part. But the Hasidims, they also have their own junkies. Like every culture has junkies. And their junkies go to the crack hotel that Howie went to. So we go to the crack hotel, and we cannot even believe what we're seeing. So I immediately start filming the video. I Need Drugs on the spot. Like in Howie's crack hotel room with Mordecai shooting up with the yarmulke and beard. So it was kind of organic. It was like Howie was like, you know, like, yeah, that song's cool. Like because he heard the song and he's like, yeah, he was giving me props, but he's like, I live this shit. Come tonight and you can film the real shit. You know, and it just happened to end up being a video. And let me tell you something. You know when a person laughs, where they're laughing so hard that you almost feel like you're gonna have a heart attack? Like, yeah, you know, have you ever in your life laughed where you had to go on the floor, you're with your buddies, and you're on the floor? Okay, it doesn't happen totally often as much as we want, right? But there's those times in our life where we were with our friends and we were laughing at that level. The whole making of the video, I'm talking the editing, me and Mr. Hyde, would be in tears. I mean, crying on the floor in pain, like, oh, my chest hurts, as we were editing. Because every new edit, we would watch it, right? And then we'd have to go back to the editor, and I would edit more and more. We couldn't believe how fucked up this video was. So I already knew this video was going to have an impact on the world. I was like, oh, my God. And I remember my stepbrother who was there. It was me, Mr. Hyde, and my stepbrother, Steven, who I don't talk to. And he asked me in the car, he goes, you going to release that? You're going to release that footage? And I said, yeah, why wouldn't I? He goes, oh, man, you're exploiting him. And I said, yo, bro, I was like, it's better I show people that than not. Nobody knows that this goes on. You know, like I knew I'm talking before I had the edit. Just me in the car after filming the video in the crack hotel. He's trying to guilt me on like how fucked up this video just is. He's like, yo, you're exploitational. I said, yeah, that's why it's going to blow the fuck up. And yo, that's a pretty cheap looking video because it's shot on VHS. It was way before people had digital cameras and all that shit. It's shot on those old camcorders. So,
this adds to it.
Yeah,
though.
man. Like that video had an effect. Like it blew people away at that time. Now, if you wonder why is that video not 100 million on YouTube, you know why? I got fucked early on with YouTube. When that video first went up on YouTube in 2005, it reached 1 million, right? Immediately, and got taken down for needle shooting. It got taken down. Every time it would get put up, it would get taken down. So it got to a point where it couldn't accumulate anymore. There's so many times before a video, it keeps accumulating 1 million, 2 million, and it keeps getting taken down. It's not going to keep doing that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At some point, everybody saw it already. You know what I mean? So I got fucked on a lot of my videos. So like right now, I Need Drugs might be 2 million. But it might have been 100 million if YouTube didn't dead it every time. So I kind of got fucked because people think that they're bigger than me because a lot of my videos got deaded. For example, Who's Your Daddy? Obviously one of my biggest hits. It's never been allowed to live on YouTube.
Epic clip, man. I had to find that through the depths of Pornhub or some shit, man.
and check this out. The Who's Your Daddy video, when it first dropped, it had more views on World Star Hip Hop than any Lil Wayne video. This is right when Lil Wayne started blowing up with all the mix CDs. And he had a couple of videos, 300,000, 400, 500. Who's Your Daddy had 2 million views on World Star Hip Hop. And it was doing better than all the black rappers. But what happened is, World Star Hip Hop is not viewed as a catalog for videos. So you don't go to World Star Hip Hop saying, let me go look at, you know what I'm saying, the Necro video. You're going to go and type Necro in YouTube. YouTube's where everyone looks. YouTube is essentially where the party is. World Star was kind of like a private party that only a certain amount of people. So it blew up on World Star, but it never got the 50 million it would have had on YouTube. So now you see videos now, right, with people doing similar things as me. And they don't get flagged, and their video is fucking 10 million. I got fucked for some reason, man. I always get fucked, or you'll see their video has age restriction. I think because I did a lot of crazy shit before a lot of people started being able to figure out how to get away with doing crazy shit. I got fucked early on. So like my human traffic video, also a video that had over millions of views on World Star. Right now it's on fucking YouTube with like 100,000. How the fuck does the human trafficking not have 10 million views? When I dropped it, it was fucking blew everybody away. But immediately taken off YouTube again. Every fucking video I made got taken off. So now you see these other rappers, right? Immortal Technique, he has like 20 million for Dance with the Devil. No disrespect to Immortal or Vinny or any of these guys. People tend to think they're bigger than me. Oh, Immortal Technique is bigger than Necro. Vinny's bigger than Necro because their numbers are bigger. I get it. But what happened was I got fucked on a lot of my content because it was too extreme. You know what I'm saying? Where those guys, their stuff isn't as extreme. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking like, you know, human trafficking is an extreme track. I'm talking about human trafficking of women. So it's a, you know, it's a pretty brutal fucking song. Video is extremely brutal. So I never got to get the views, you know, and so when people go and search for me, they're not seeing the craziest content I ever released with the biggest views. That's fucked up for me. As a brand, my illest content has the lowest views because of their bullshit censorship. Where for a Vinny or an Immortal or a Nonfiction or other dudes, their biggest, hottest things, they were able to get the views for it because they didn't put out content that would get flagged. Some people could say, hey, I'm stupid. I didn't realize at the time. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought, drop the extreme shit. That's the shit people want. It didn't dawn on me at the time. Oh, this is going to get banned and flagged and take. Because then, you know what I would have did? And here's the fucked up thing. Imagine me making the I Need Drugs video, but not showing the needle popping.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that part of what blew it up to people? Is the realness of them seeing. So if I would have edited it out, it might have blew up bigger, but then nobody would have seen that. So it's a double-edged sword, because if I edited out all the things that would flag it, then people wouldn't have felt as cringy as they feel watching them put the needle in. So part of Necro's legend is that people had to see my content raw to become my fan, but it also hurt me in the long run. So I don't know, did it hurt me or help me? Because if I would have been bigger, but maybe I wouldn't have the diehards that saw the raw versions, you know? So that's it. Listen, in the end of the day, I don't dwell on it. We're just talking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't sit here and go, oh, my life, you know? It's kind of just fucking sad that, you know, a guy like Blueface as a rapper, he could have songs of booty girls dancing and all that. You know what I mean? And you know, a lot of these guys have the twerking and their videos have millions, but anything I have with women gets flagged immediately. I don't know why, man. And YouTube has a hard-on for me. I think I have haters. They see Necro and he's with girls, and they start hitting the report button. And it's like, it's fucked up, man, because I have nowhere to put my shit. Because here's the thing. People can say, put it on Vimeo, put it here. Yeah, I get you. But the party's YouTube. So you can say all day where to put a visual, but in the end of the day, you need to be where the party is.
Yeah.
You can't go, listen, sometimes you can't go against the grain. You can be a go against the grain artist, yes. But you can't be an artist that says, oh, I won't be on YouTube. Then you're going to be the idiot that nobody sees. And then all the other fans are going to look at everyone else. Like, there's a line between I'm going to be who I am and then you saying, oh, well, I'm not going to be on Spotify. Well, then you're going to fuck yourself then, schmuck, from 90 countries of people hearing you. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? Getting that, you know, even the biggest directors have to fucking settle on getting with a distribution company and somebody. You know what I mean? Everyone has to eventually rock with somebody. You can't, you know, totally be rebellious. Metallica were rebellious. They still signed with Elektra Records for Master of Puppets because they knew they were not going to be the level that they ended up being. They needed some machine to take it a little bit bigger. Okay? But everybody probably talked shit at the time. Look at Metallica. You know what I mean? Now they're going to go fucking with Elektra. But, hey, Master of Puppets is a classic because of that. You know what I mean? So that's been, the dilemma, you know, is how do you deal with YouTube when they censor you for everything? It's you know, and then I see people get away with murder. And I'm like, why are they getting away with murder? And sometimes it's because they're from European countries, and I don't think the rules are the same if you're from this country. And for some reason, the American rules are like to butcher you. Where if you're from France, I'll see French dudes, they have girls getting practically naked in their videos on YouTube, no issue. And I'm like, how the fuck are they, you know? And it bothers me because it's like, I can't do the Necro brand correctly because I get my shit taken down. You know what I mean? So what am I supposed to do then? So now I got to make a video with just me in it. Everything that'll be just me rapping and that's it. If I want to show ill shit, murder, gore, girls, guns, anything that other people show in their video to make their video look cool, I get flagged for it, bro. I literally get fucking flagged for it. I did a fucking video against cops. There's nothing offensive in the video. It's just footage of riots and shit like that. Immediately flagged the first 18 hours. It fucked up all my views. Because what they do when they flag it is, it gets taken out of recommendations, and then fucking, so all my fans didn't fucking see it. And it's 50,000. That's it, bro. My channel has 230,000 subscribers, bro. 230. So you would think at least one view from each subscriber. How do I only have 50,000 views? Because they buried my fucking video, bro. Just because I'm rapping anti-cop shit. And I don't know who flagged me, but some hater. There's people out there that hate Necro. And listen, part of it might be my fault because it's like Howard Stern, right? I mean, no matter what he would do, he's turned off some people. Some people just didn't like the guy. Some people just don't like me, and so they're going to be my enemy, and they're going to try to flag me and ruin my success. So I feel good to know at least I'm successful with dealing with all these obstacles. But yeah, it's a little painful when you make a brand new piece of art and you want to release it to your fans and you know it could, you know it could blow up because it's really good. And then you get fucked with by the platforms. You know, and what are you going to do? You're going to put it on Vimeo? Nobody's watching it. Yes, it'll get watched on Vimeo, but it's not going to be something that a new fan is going to go to. A new fan doesn't say, let's go to Vimeo to see the new Necro song. They're always going to go to YouTube. And then that's when they're going to see the views of the rappers they're looking. And that's where it's going to show if you're successful. And some of these clown rappers actually think they're bigger than me. Like, listen, you might be big now, but you think you're more popular than me with fans just because maybe you have some numbers that are a little bit bigger? Bro, that's only because my shit got fucking flagged. Look at the videos I released. Human trafficking, white slavery, I need drugs, who's your daddy, I want to fuck, licking pussy. Licking pussy, I somehow lucked out. It's 4 million views now because licking pussy, I made sure I didn't have anything too. Licking pussy with me taming myself down. And I got to make more videos like that kind of style where it has girls. But here's the problem that annoys me with licking pussy. Licking pussy immediately got age restricted. So I can't make a penny off that video. So I make this great piece of art that eventually is going to get 4 million fucking views, and I can't even get paid for it. YouTube's like, go fuck yourself. Because you got some hot bitches in it, we're not going to let you get a fucking penny off of it. Like, it's like, yo, it's like stabbing artists in the back. YouTube are cock fucking suckers. I fucking hate that platform. I need it, and I use it, but I hate their infrastructure. They're fucking scumbags to people, in my opinion. Definitely to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these platforms are foul. But YouTube is the fucking worst, bro. And Facebook is one of the worst. Facebook, they're like Nazis, Facebook. They want to fuck you over on anything you post. Yo, they start scanning posts from 2 years ago to look for reasons to restrict me on my page for something I post. If it was posted 2 years ago, why are you blocking me for a week now on a post from fucking 2 years ago? Like I understand if you wanted to be an asshole and penalize me for something I posted this week. But why are you going to look through my profile from 2 years ago? It's already old news now. You know what I'm saying? It's done already.
You have the same problem with Instagram?
And listen, and it's not like I'm posting up a Nazi saying we should go kill Jews or something. Like, I'm getting flagged for, like, posting up something with a girl in it. Like, it's the dumbest shit ever, bro. Like, that they'll fucking try to flag you for posting up something that they consider too evil or too sexual. Yeah, and too sexual is anything, bro. Yo, it's no way to know what is too sexual. You just have to. Here's basically what you got to do. Don't post anything with a female in it.
Yeah.
So they want to turn men into emasculate men to the point where we feel fear to even post anything with women or do anything with women. It's gotten to a point that men are constantly getting called out for harassing women 20 years ago now. It's a constant, regular thing that all these dudes, all of a sudden, a woman from 20 years ago now is mentioning now that this person in power did it. I'm not going to say they didn't or they didn't. I noticed the trend of, you know what I'm saying? Like it almost seems too good to be true. Like, oh, so really? All these women got fucked with and didn't do anything back then, and now, I don't know. I don't know. Say 50-50. It could be, that could be true. It could also, listen, as much as you believe it could be true, it could also be true that they're scheming for money and it's ways to bring these powerful men down. It could be either or. There could be one guy that wants to bring another guy down and he has money and he says, okay, let me get in touch with blah, blah, blah. And listen, you pay somebody $1 million. Some of these women right now, they don't have nothing in their bank account. They're fucking broke. All of a sudden they're rich now. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's tough to know all the secret shit that goes on in this world.
Anyone try and come after you and all that?
Nah, we don't talk, because first of all, I don't do dumb shit.
Yep.
And I've never done dumb shit. I'm intelligent. Also, you have to be, like a major target. Like if you're the governor of something like that, that's when they really, really, really try to come at you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've never been that big to the point where I'm going to have Illuminati come at me. Illuminati meaning whoever you might consider on that level. You know what I'm saying? And so it just is what it is. I'm not on the radar of Illuminati. There's certain people that are on the radar. If you're a government official, that's why you see they get fucked with a lot. Or like, the Harvey Weinstein type guys. These are guys, I think they have so much power. And here's the thing. If they never did anything bad, ever, they probably wouldn't be easy targets. But because that dude tried to fuck so many bitches, there's women out there. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, if you were kind of a piece of shit,
makes the job easier.
Piece of shit doesn't mean you raped them. Piece of shit might mean you had money, you invited a lot of bitches over, you tried to fuck bitches. They're gonna paint it into you trying to rape them now. But if you were doing a lot of fucking crazy shit, you should expect that. See, me on the other hand, I've done crazy shit on tour, but I'm very careful. You know what I mean? If any chick acts stupid or if I'm getting a bad vibe, I kick them out immediately. Like I dead the situation. So, I think people that are smart are smart. When you see people getting into trouble, sad thing to say, a lot of times they're dumb. Because maybe they thought they were too powerful. They let it get to them. I'm aware I'm not that powerful. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to be dumb. I'm not going to do some shit that's going to give someone else power over me. Because I'm aware I'm not that powerful, I'm not going to give you power over me. You understand what I'm saying? Because I have my limited amount of power. I'm not going to ruin that. Some of these other people, I think the problem is they think they're too powerful. Russell Simmons, he definitely felt invincible. So imagine the shit he did. Even if he didn't do what the women said, imagine some of the shit he must have did to make them hate him. He probably just was very obnoxious, very nonchalant, very, I'm above you. And that, and that's enough to get these women to come out and lie. Just being a real pompous scumbag motherfucker. So, I've never been a pompous scumbag motherfucker because I appreciate what I got because it was so tough to get it. Russell Simmons, he blew up very big, millions, very early. So a lot of these guys, when they blow up really early with millions and millions, notice they always get into a lot of big bad shit quick. Fucked up shit happens to them because their ego is so crazy. And you notice the guys like me, independent, we have to work really hard. We don't get, listen, I got into trouble. I got arrested in Perth, Australia. Listen, maybe I don't have issues with women, okay, but some of my issues was violence in the streets, drama. You know what I'm saying? I had to get control over that. Like there's some dudes that aren't violent, and they have issues with women. I mean, come on, look at a guy like fucking Chris
D'Elia, the comedian.
No. The one who beat up Rihanna. What's his name?
Oh, Chris Brown.
Right, Chris Brown. Yeah. You look at him as an example. He didn't really get locked up ever or a reputation for beating guys up, but he blew up mega for beating a woman up. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? And you would think he wouldn't do that because he's so big. He's loved by so much women. Wouldn't he be able to get just so much pussy that it would never lead to that being public? But it just shows you, like, these guys can't control themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just that fucked up, bro. I think my food has got to be by the door. Maybe not actually, because they got till 8. Let me just check and see.
Sure
I
thing,
know
man.
we've definitely done at least an hour. So how
Yeah.
about, if you got any last questions you want to ask them, and then we'll end it. All right?
Sure, man. Awesome, dude. I really appreciate you taking the time, by the way. Look, man, I know like we've spoken so much about like your hip hop influences.
Hold on one second. Hold on. Let me
Sure.
just grab my. I just order shit. I don't even fucking shop anymore. I think it's a waste of fucking time. I have everything delivered.
Yeah, man.
I'd rather focus my energy and time on health, going to the gym, or making beats. I don't want to waste even 1 hour shopping. I just
I would
do it on the
eliminate it
app,
too.
and they deliver to my crib. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I used to like going because I thought it would be good exercise. I might see a bitch, but it's just a waste of time. It's 2 hours. You got to drive there, you go there, you got to wait online, you get it. That's 2 hours I could be working on music, and it'll add up. So if you're doing it fucking 100 times in a year, that's 200 hours of shopping. That could be 200. You could make 2 albums in 200 hours, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
I agree.
200 hours, a lot of hours. So, you know, when you think about it, the amount of time you're saving is insane.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm lazy because I go to the gym. I worked out so brutal today in the gym. I worked out so brutal.
I've seen you've been killing it.
No, I'm saying I worked out so brutal today. I am feeling sick. Literally, I wasn't going to do this with you today, but I didn't want to cancel twice because that would make me an asshole to tell somebody 2 times, yo, I'm canceling. But
Much appreciated, man.
I was pushing myself through the gym, even though I was sick because I had taken some days off, and I didn't know why I was feeling sick. I was wearing a sweatsuit, you know, the suits that make you sweat, because I wanted to be less on the scale, and I think it was making me super sick. Because it's like it was bringing up my body temperature. I have like a hat and a hoodie, and it fucking puts you on fire. And I'm like feeling like horrible, but I'm telling myself, but I got to do it though, because you know this is the militants. You know, I got to do it. Really, what I should have did was not work out. See, that's the problem that people do. We get our egos. That, you know, and we think, you know, we're not being manly enough if we don't do it. And what ends up happening is we injure and hurt ourselves. And when we injure and hurt ourselves, we end up taking off a week or 2 or 3. Sometimes people never go back for 6 months because they fucked up. It's better to actually take it slow, rest, because you'll be more consistent. And I'm learning that, you know what I mean? I mean, I've always known it, but it's like you almost don't realize you're fucked up until it takes years sometimes for you to realize how fucked up you are. You know what I'm saying? Because you're always looking at shit from inside out. But now I realize I'm one of those dudes that always goes too hard and then injures myself.
Yeah.
You know, and today's an example. Like I was literally sick. I did a whole workout. I'm talking so sick. I had to go onto the machines and go and hold on and breathe. And I didn't even know I am sick. Well, it's also I fasted for 30 hours. So I went to the gym after I did a whole 30-hour fast. But I never had problems before when I was fasting. You know what I'm saying? I never felt like I couldn't go to the gym, but I probably was sick. Something wasn't right. I fasted, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't have food in me, and I just pushed myself. And I'm telling you, like right now, I don't feel great because of what I did to myself today.
Yeah.
And
well, appreciate it, man.
So I just went too brutal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's too much, man. You know what I'm saying? It's sometimes, man. It's, you know, it's funny. I'm watching this MMA show, and it shows every time these guys go too hard, and they injure themselves, and then they say, "Oh, I'm going to still do the fight." They lose the fight.
Yeah.
Every fucking time. Every time. You know what I'm saying? It's no matter. It doesn't matter who you are or how tough you are. If your knee is fucked up, and then you know I'm going to do it. You end up losing that fight. You know what I'm saying?
Always pushing it to the limit.
And here's the crazy well, listen, you can push it to the limit, but there becomes a limit where your knee will snap. Here's the crazy shit. All our bodies have limits, because what are we really made out of? Think about it. A piece of steel can slice you right in half. You're not made out of steel. You're not the fucking you're not fucking Colossus from fucking X-Men. We're made of flesh. I mean, our bones are pretty rugged, but a piece of steel will slice right through your bone like butter. So, like, you have to know to push it to a limit and then stop at some point. Bottom line, there has to be a limit. Push it to the limit, but there's a limit at some point, right?
Right.
Notice it says push it to the limit. It doesn't say push it till you're dead. Push it to the limit, whatever that limit is. The limit is, oh, well, my knee's going to break now. Okay, well, then stop now. You pushed it to the limit of what your knee can do. You know, and that's the problem. People think they're invincible. They push. All these guys. Come on, how many times have you heard about guys in the gym, right? These big guys, right? And then you go, oh, I broke my back. I broke my neck. I did trying to lift 500 pounds. Like, yo, bro, you're going to – and then these guys, yo, they suffer injuries, bro. So, like, what happens is they might be 30 now, but when they're, like, 50, yo, they're going to be in pain, man. Like, those kind of injuries. So, you know, that's the thing. I'm right now injured from going too hard. And I'm 80 days going militant, right? And I went too hard. And, you know, I injured my knee a little bit, you know, like to the point where it's, you know, it has like this pain. I got to take painkillers, and it's my own fault. I went too hard. I was doing jump rope, boxing, running, high intensity, and I just did it too much, man, and too much. Listen, it happens to anyone. Professional runners get their fucking, you know, these things happen, you know? So,
yeah, bro.
Mike Tyson broke his back once. He said,
Yeah, no
I broke my back. Like, you know, so like anybody, man, you could get fucked.
Yeah.
Humans are feeble. As tough as we are, a guy could be totally coming at you, full blast, murdering you. If his heart fucking stops, he'll plop right down to the floor. So.
Done. I was just going to ask you just an easy throwaway question, man. Just in terms of like cultural influences and things, I was wondering, I know you've made some music about people like Charles Manson a bunch. I was wondering if you have a favorite serial killer and why.
Well, you know, I don't know if Charles Manson technically falls under serial killer because he was more like considered a cult leader, even though he gets the respect of every serial killer. Like any book about serial killers will feature Charles. I think Charles is one of those dudes that transcended infamy in the way where he had the respect of serial killers, but I don't know if he was really a serial killer. I guess my favorite, which is kind of fucked up. Oh, this guy's my favorite. He used to kill
totally fucked up.
He used to kill old women. That's my favorite guy. Ramirez is a sick motherfucker, bro.
Yeah.
Everything about that guy is fucking wild, crazy.
Pure evil.
Something about him, you know, like I guess, but you know, I don't really have a favorite. Like I'm not I'm not a jerk off that, you know, worships these fucking jerk offs. You know what I'm saying? I got enough pride that they should be my fucking fan. You know what I mean? But I mean, I get it. You know, obviously they're legendary for doing what they did. You know, do I have a favorite? But, you know, I mean, you know, it's not like, you know, like I worship any of them like they're that cool, you know, because there's some stuff about some of these guys that I don't like. You know what I mean? Like Ramirez has some traits from what I've hear that I don't respect at all. So, you know what I mean? He's obviously someone you can rap about, you know, and things he did, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if he's really a good role model.
No.
You know, same thing with like a Dahmer. Dahmer was a fag. So I'm not going, I love Dahmer, you know, but Dahmer was obviously a fucked up individual, you know, his whole, what he did, how he got caught, the black guy with the drill in the head. I mean, he's a sick fucking bastard. So, you know, I mean, you know, those guys are legendary, you know what I mean? They obviously are the biggest, right? Dahmer, Ted Bundy, Berkowitz, you know, I mean, they're all just a whole bunch of clowns. You know, I view them as just a bunch of sick fucks. If I ever rap or mention them, you know, I'm mentioning culture. You know, it's less about me, I like them. You know, it's more about I like sick shit. You know, I like art. that is sick. Something about it brings out an emotion. So I'll rhyme about them, but doesn't mean I have a love or worship for them. I am investigating them as I'm rhyming, as I'm writing. I'm investigating them. I'm learning about them as much as you are. You understand what I'm saying? And then I'm creating a piece of work based on my influence from them. I could watch Sex and the City, the show, let's just say, and write a rap about that. I never did, but and then maybe that rap would be something talking about relationships and whatever. So if you're going to look for serial killers, it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, I like this guy. It's more of like we're analyzing them.
Yeah.
Like we're more. It's like we're morticians and we're doing artistic autopsies on them. Does the mortician like the dead body? Not necessarily. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He might like doing autopsies, but I don't think he has a specific liking to that corpse, right? Yeah. It's more of like, I like doing autopsies. So I like doing lyrical autopsies on subjects, let's say. I like dissecting what they did and putting it together. Matter of fact, hold on one second.
No problem.
I like the name of that for something. See, I gotta send myself a message. Lyrical autopsy. I don't know if anybody ever used that together as a word. How do you spell autopsy?
A-U-T-O-P? S-Y.
S-E-Y?
I think just S-Y.
Right, there you go. All right, now let me open this. Where did I put this? Hold on, I gotta find this one.
Yeah, man. Less about having a favorite, more about just a fascination, really. I guess is what I mean. It's
it's a fascination. I mean, anybody, it's intriguing. Like, what would make this guy wanna? Because all these guys end up getting caught. So it's a fascinating thing to see that somebody. It's almost interesting. Like, oh wow, so you couldn't control yourself. Like meaning. Why would anyone want to get caught and put in a jail cell? So the only reason these guys are doing it is because something in them makes them do it, where it's a thirst. Like we have a thirst for drinking. They have a thirst for murder. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe they, another interesting thing. Say, I'm just talking about this. I'm coming up with ideas.
Great.
Thirst for murder.
Happy to be a part of it.
For murder. Nah, well, it's because it's interesting, because when you think about it, a thirst, we're talking about, how I said a thirst for drinks. These guys have that the same way we want to eat food. You know what I mean? Some of these guys, they have the thirst for killing. Like I need to kill. They put themselves in a position because they couldn't control themselves. No self-control. Yeah, these guys had a thirst for murder with no self-control. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So when you're that fucked up, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's intriguing to understand that. I mean, but then you kind of relate to it once they tell you. It's like, well, I had a thirst for murder. Okay, well, I can understand that. I get it. I don't have that thirst like you have to kill women, but something in these guys. I guess a lot of times they end up talking about their mothers, right? Well, my mother was so fucked up that, so that's why I have a thirst to kill these women, because I want to save them from being the prostitutes they are. There's always some psychological shit that fucks these guys up. And, you know what I mean? Supposedly porno makes a lot of these guys killers.
Yeah, right.
Porn made me a killer. That's a fucking hot title, too. See? Coming up with ideas.
Plenty. They're just flowing out.
Yeah, well, and I could end up switching it, but by writing porn made me a killer. But by writing it down, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's actually a hot title. Porn made me a killer. That's fucked up. Because here's the thing. Now you can touch on mad subjects with that. Now you can rap porno, but you can entwine it with murder and with all these serial killers. And See, that's the coolness. What I like about that. So let's say I call an album "Porn Made Me a Killer." It opens up a whole floodgate to rap about sex, but to also rap about all the other psychology around violence and sex, and because there's women that love getting choked because it's all psychological. Like, why do they like that? Why does that turn them on? You know, and then they'll tell you, "Oh, my father used to choke me." Like, there's so much psychology around evil.
Yeah, and all these serial killers have groupies. Charles Manson got married in prison. So did Ramirez.
All right,
Like,
listen,
what the
bro.
fuck's that? Yeah, man. I appreciate
We got to
the
wrap
time.
up because I got a lot of shit to do.
I really appreciate the time, Necro. And as a long-time fan, it's a pleasure to meet you. So take it easy.
All right, let me know whenever you put the shit up or whatever, all right?
I will, man, for sure. Peace, brother.
All right, be safe.
You too.